want to get into crazy conspiracy theories, it is mind control. That's exactly what it is. Not some beaming something into your head through 5G. Not even any of the theoretical Tuesday stuff that we used to do. If I don't yell on a stream, like at least once every couple of weeks, I start getting messages from people going, "Oh, I miss you, going off on stuff." But you didn't have experience with the Roman Empire. You didn't have physical experience with the 1800s. You didn't have experience with the railroads. What do you have? Stuff that was written. And all of that stuff could be absolute, complete, and utter bullshit. Because take what we know now. Take what the insurgency was. Do you know what's going to happen 30 years from now when I'm an old man and I'm running around going, "It wasn't actually like that. You kids weren't alive when it..." I'm going to be that old man that talks about back in my day. But do you know what's going to be left? Not Stephen Ignoramus's 4-hour stream that I watched where absolutely nothing violent happened. No, because YouTube deleted that. What you're going to see, all of this news media, all of this video, all of this stuff that they're running on CNN and MSNBC and CNBC and all of these other channels, that's all that's going to be left. All of this stuff that you look at on Twitter and you go, this is completely backwards from reality. And I'm not even just talking about the Capitol thing. I'm talking about all of it. Nancy Pelosi getting up and saying something about Trump that didn't happen. You guys know I have very little love for Trump. But the shit that they're saying about him right now, these 2 impeachments, all of this stuff, everybody else knows it's absolute, complete, and utter bullshit. You know it is because you watched it. You watched live broadcasts where you saw what was said. You're in the mix, but none of that shit's gonna exist. 30 years from now, people are gonna go, well, he was impeached twice. But what about 100 years from now? Because 30, there's still gonna be people alive to say, no, that's not what happened. But 100 years from now, the only thing you're gonna see is video after video after video that you see right now that you look at and go, why the fuck would you even write something like that? Why the hell would you even say something like that? You're gonna have video of Don Lemon and the white-haired gay dude just sitting there saying that, and they're gonna take that and it's gonna be reality. And that's all that'll be left 100 years from now. And 100 years from now, everybody's going to look back on the time that we're in, and they're going to believe that things that you saw differently with your own fucking eyes are true, and they're not going to question. All of the shit that's happening now is not happening to change your mind. All of the shit that's happening now is to change reality 100 years from now, in my personal opinion. So go back and look at some of the stuff. I've already told you guys that the Civil War being about what we all say it's been, that we've all been taught that it was about, is the equivalent of saying that we would have a civil war that started today that was over killing the life of infants in the womb. Nobody's picking up their guns and going to shoot each other because some states in the union are okay with ripping babies out of a woman's stomach and some people aren't. It just doesn't work that way. Now, it could have been a catalyst for people saying, fuck this, I'm out of the union, we don't want to do this anymore, and the federal side saying, oh, fuck you are. Doesn't that sound more plausible? And it may have been over owning humans. It was an awful thing, owning humans. We could be. But look at the way media portrays stuff. And I'm not just talking about the news, I'm talking about movies too. Look at the way media portrays stuff in the movies. Your silenced weapons that go pew, 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 pew. If you've ever actually used the suppressor, it does not sound like that. It's not just a click, it's not just a pew. If you know anything about the military, especially when it comes to military operation or urban terrain, any movie you watch where they breach a building, it's wrong. They never pie the corners. They always have their weapon at the ready, and then they jump in front of the door. That's the best way to get killed in that situation, because you're exposing your body before you can see what's shooting at you. It doesn't work. And the crazy thing is that these people have consultants. Was the West the way they said it was, or are we just reading what people wrote in the newspaper? Were black people really treated as poorly as we're led to believe afterward? Because we've watched videos. It was definitely a government-funded video, where they were trying to market to black people, like you get white people to market and kind of cash in on the black community. And the entire thing was completely like respectful. And this was in like the 50s. But if you watch all of the news media, if you watch, you know, if you listen to what happened, did that really happen? And I'm not saying it didn't. I can't say it didn't, but I also can't say it did. You know, and everybody hates to talk about the old Germany. It wasn't that bad. Don't get me canceled, because that'll get you nuked in about 0.02 seconds. But it sounds like a cartoonish version of a villain in every single way. He was a leader of a country, so I guarantee you he was a bad dude, like every other leader of a country is. But come on, what did I see with my own eyes? What did I see reported? Because I'm walking around and I'm looking at all this snow and I'm seeing all of these freaking people, and I'm in the middle of what they're saying is the worst snowstorm, the worst Texas has ever had, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't that bad. I saw the Dallas thing go down on local news live, and there's a lot of shit that happened that doesn't even exist anymore. I watched 9/11 go down live on TV, and a lot of that shit's changed too. What the national news reports and what the local news reports are two completely different things. And what they'll do is they'll edit stuff out, change the narrative. Look at coronavirus! The only people who are scared of it are the ones that are told to be scared of it. If it were something that were killing people in mass, if it was something that was dangerous, you would see it. Most of the people I know knew somebody who died in 9/11. That was 3,000 fucking people. 500,000 people have died from COVID, and I barely know 1 or 2 people who have somebody directly attached to them that died specifically from COVID. No! Wrong! Bullshit! But if you watch the news, and I'm telling you, 60 years from now, I'm probably still gonna be fucking kicking because my family never fucking dies. So I ain't going anywhere, unfortunately. And I'm gonna be standing here listening to a bunch of fucking kids like I do now, sitting there telling me that shit was a certain way that they have no fucking clue. I have people who weren't even alive during 9/11 telling me what happened in 9/11. I've got children telling me how it was in the 80s. Children telling me how life works. It's just unbelievable. It's absolutely unreal. I didn't know anybody who had AIDS. In fact, from my recollection as a kid, it's about the same as COVID. Everybody was afraid of it, but you didn't ever know anyone that actually, you know, got hit with it. And I honestly, who said the Spanish flu? Where is that? Okey-dokey. Bacterial pneumonia will kill more people and be called COVID. It happened in 1918. Spanish flu, but will they tell you? No, they won't. In fact, I think Spanish flu is the exact same story as COVID. I don't think the Spanish flu was that bad. After watching this COVID shit, I don't buy any of it. After watching how the news media acts, I don't buy any of it. The only reason that people don't say the same shit about Walter Cronkite and all of them back then is because there was no other source. It was 100% controlled. Now you can hear some jackass like me break it down from an analytical level, and you can have people going, I live in Texas. That didn't happen. You didn't have that 30, 40 years ago. You might have an aunt that lives in Texas, or you might have a friend that lived in Texas, and you called them long distance and paid a fucking fortune to talk to them, and then your dad comes out, well, I just talked to your Aunt Martha, and she said it's not that bad. But that's not like it is now. You can't see somebody sitting in it. You can't see somebody, back then, you didn't have anybody taking video of it and sending it to people. You didn't have the connection that you have now. Showing feet in the gay bar in the 1980s. No, I'm not saying. Semper said that Spanish flu was the same thing as COVID. No, I think it was the same hysteria as COVID. What do you think? What do you think they're going to see 100 years from now? They're going to see ER beds at capacity with people in tents going, look how bad COVID was. and nothing else is gonna exist because they're gonna fucking dump it all. That's just how it'll be. But every single thing we have is fueled by the media and movies and TV and all of that shit. Have you ever broken a neck? I haven't broken a neck, but from what I hear, it's fucking hard. It doesn't happen like it does in the movie. And then I look at shit that I do know, like clearing buildings and, how computers work. and I go, well, if they got this fucking wrong, holy shit. Like, my personal favorite is, hey, we need to get to the cameras in the Pentagon. And some chick sits down at a computer and goes, hold on, I've got to break their encryption. Oh, got through the firewall. Doesn't fucking work like that. You don't break through DoD level security like that. It doesn't fucking happen. I like when you guys don't know this, when they plug the phone in to download all the information off the phone, and you see it go, all right, I've got everybody, here it is. Are you fucking kidding me? It takes me an hour and a half to back up my fucking iPhone. And when you actually sit back, look at movies and look at TV shows, and you actually sit back and look for how absurd some of the things are, it starts popping out at you. I don't know if you can break somebody's neck by turning it super fast. Major victory, because I've never actually done it, but I hear it doesn't work that way. How about smashing windows in the Capitol building like they're made out of regular glass? Yeah, right? And by the way, the same 4 videos that they run over and over and over again, that was, they deleted, not privated, they deleted everyone's streams. Deleted. And the only things that are left are the violent stuff. That's it. You know, like the 4 videos that they keep running over and over and over. They said that police officer died because somebody bashed him in the head with a fire extinguisher. To which I went, first of all, you have video. There is video of everything. There is video of everything. Everybody had their phones out. There were a million streamers there. There is videos of everything. And they didn't have that on video, because if they had it on video, they'd be running it on a loop. And then they tried to show one video that was way far away. But I called bullshit on that in the very beginning. It turns out the guy had a fucking, like stroke later, like hours later. It's all bullshit. They're standing there saying, and that's why they keep calling it insurgency, and that's why the deadly insurgency. Oh, the deadly. They're saying firearms were there. And the thing is that the only rounds that were spent were from police. Because if a single person would have fired a single round, they would be running it on a loop on every fucking news channel with people firing it. They would have run it. They didn't have any of it because it didn't fucking happen. But they've whittled everything down to only the violent pieces. And it's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing that there are actually people who buy it. There's actually people who buy into it and believe it. If authority doesn't work, which authority is always telling us crazy shit, right? Then, well, the Stanford prison experiment was getting people to treat people like shit based on their role of authority. This was getting people to say there were 5 lights when there were only 4 lights. And they would go through all of these different exercises, and peer pressure was one of them. So they do it. If you look at Twitter, Twitter is the 5 lights experiment. And I think that's good. That's all I got.